Okay, as we stopped in the till the introduction, now we'll move to the principle of the negative staining technique. So in the principle, the coloring power of acidic dye, like suppose eosin is sodium carbonate, is having the negative charge. Suppose opposite poles, as we know, the opposite poles like each other, same pole, same charge poles get repel each other. So in the same way, uh, the coloring power of any stain, it will be a opposite pole. Suppose if coloring powder like stain powder is acidic in nature, the uh, the organism which we are going to stain is will be a opposite, that is negative charge. Then as the bacteria cell is also in acidic in nature, it does not combine with the negative charge bacterial cell surface. So all the bacterial are acidic in nature. It does not combine with the negative charge bacterial cell surface. On the other hand, it forms a deposit around the cell, resulting into appearance of bacterial cell colorless again a dark background. Okay, yeah. So in this negative staining technique, as we know, opposite words as the coloring agent, the power charge is acidic charge, that is negative charge, and the acidic charge and opposite colors is negative charge. So as the bacterial cell also is acidic charge in nature, so as you know, so these two are same pole, same charges, so it does not combine with negatively charged bacterial sulfur. So on the other hand, even though the both charges are same, these negative staining which will secrete around the cell surface, which results into a appearance of bacterial cell colorless against a dark background. Okay, so the stain what we have applied, which is having the acidic nature, which will cover the entire cell around the cell surface, which provides a dark background color. Background color. So in that way, this negative staining will work. So our next, coming to the reagents, it requires nigrosin 5%, and 5% in the sense 5 grams, which dissolved in 100 ml. That gives the 5% of nigrosin solution. And coming to the procedure, place a small drop of 5% nigrosin on a slide. We have to first take the observed sample, and over that we have to place a small drop of 5% nigrosin on a slide and mix it into a small drop of 24 hours old bacterial culture, and mix it with a small drop of 24 hours old culture suspension, and spread the drop with the help of another slide and air dry it. Make a spear, let the drop, or make a smear by using another slide and air dry it, and examine under the oil immersion objective lens. Bacteria can seen as a clear, transparent, colorless object on a dark background surface. Okay, so as we know that is due to the application of this negative stain, the nature of the target cells also which attain a same charge. So due to the presence of same charge on both reagent as well as the organism, it doesn't attain the stain. So instead of that, the stain which will cover the surface of the bacteria, around the bacteria, which will make uh, a dark background to the bacteria. So due to the presence of dark background, this colorless bacteria which will appear very brightly. Okay, so that is a criteria behind this. So that is a procedure. First we have to take a small drop of 5% nitrogen solution, and to this add a small drop of 24 hours old culture bacteria suspension, and spread it with another slide to make a thin smear, and air dry it. Then next, after that, examine under microscope under objective lens. Then bacteria are seen clearly transparent, colorless object on a dark surface, on a dark black background. Okay, that way we get the clear picture of the target bacteria. Okay, by this we are done with the staining technique. Next topic is, that is sterilization and disinfection. Okay, we'll move to the sterilization and disinfection now. So the word sterilization and disinfection, antiseptic agents prevents the infection by inhibitory growth of the bacteria. So first, coming to the sterilization. Sterilization is defined as a process by which all microorganisms, vegetative cells and spores are removed from a surface area of object. Okay, sterilization is defined as a process by which all microorganisms, vegetative cells, spores are removed from the surface area of an object. Okay, next, that is the definition of sterilization. And now moving to disinfection. Disinfection is a process of destruction of pathogenic organisms which capable of giving rise to infection. Okay, this is nothing but, disinfection is nothing but the destruction, or we can say killing of a pathogenic organisms which are capable of giving rise to infection. Okay, that process we'll call it as disinfection. So in this, bacterial agents are those which can kill the bacteria. Bacterial agents, we have some type of specific terms which have the different kinds of properties, that is bactericidal. Okay, bacterio, bactericidal agents. These are the chemicals which can capable of killing the bacteria. Such kind of agents will call it as a bactericidal agents. In the same way, bacteriostatic agent. Okay, bacteriostatic agent are the agents are the chemicals which can only prevent multiplication of bacteria, and it does not kill the bacteria. Only it can stop the multiplication of bacteria. It does not kill any bacteria. That type of agents will call it as bacteriostatic agent. Bactericidal agent and bacteriostatic agent. And last one is antiseptic agent. Antiseptic agents are the agents which prevent infection by inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. Okay, the antiseptic agents are the agents which can prevent infection by inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. Bactericidals are which can kill the bacteria. Bacteriostatic agents are which can only prevent the growth of the bacteria, or we can say which can prevent the multiplication of bacteria. And in this, antiseptic agents are agents which can prevent the infection by inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. Okay, which can prevent infection by inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. Okay, yeah, these are the three terms which we can use in the sterilization and disinfection. Specifically in this in this unit, we are going to discuss these bactericidal and bacteriostatic and antiseptic agents. Okay, so because of that, we have reading these terms. Okay, and out of that, already we know the sterilization, what is sterilization and what is disinfection. Sterilization is, it is a process by which all the microorganisms and vegetative cell spores are removed from the surface area of object. Disinfection is, it is a process by which a complete destruction of micropathogenic organism which can capable of giving rise to infection. Okay, so to kill such kind of disinfectants are different types: bactericidal, bacteriostatic and antiseptic agent. Bactericidal, which can kill the bacteria, and bacteriostatic, which can only prevent the multiplication by which can only prevent the multiplication of bacteria. And last one, that is antiseptic agents, which can prevent the infection by inhibiting the growth of the bacteria. Okay, these three. And coming to the methods of sterilization, we have methods of sterilization are two types, that is physical sterilization and chemical sterilization. So we'll go through one by one. When it comes to the first, that is physical sterilization. And a physical means nothing but physical sterilization, which we can sterilize the objects by physically. Okay, chemical sterilization means which we can sterilize the objects by treatment with chemicals. Okay, that is the chemical sterilization. Physical sterilization means by either by providing heat, or by providing high temperature, or by providing autoclave, or by providing different methods. Okay, so those all will come under physical sterilization. And chemical sterilization means sterilization which occur by treating with chemical agents. Okay, such type of sterilization will called as chemical sterilization. And physical sterilization, which can sterilize the object physically, such type of sterilization will call it as physical sterilization. Now we'll go through one by one. First we move to the first one, that is physical sterilization. So generally in the physical sterilization, they have subclassified into different types. Okay, that is first one, sunlight, drying, heat. Sunlight, drying, heat. Under heat, again further we classified into two types: dry heat, moist heat. Under dry heat, again further it classified into red hot, flaming and incineration. Okay, and hot air woven. Okay, these are all comes under dry heat. And coming to the moist heat, under moist heat we have subdivided into temperature below 100 degrees, that is pasteurization of milk, that is vaccination bath. Temperature at 100 degrees, that is tyndallization and boiling. Okay, temperature at 100 degrees we have two types. Temperature below 100 degrees we have only one, that is vaccination bath. And temperature above 100 degrees we have autoclave or steam sterilization, filtration, radiation. Under radiation we have further divided into two types: ionizing radiation, non-ionizing radiation, ultrasonic vibrations. Okay, these three. Clear? And under chemical sterilization we have so many, that is acid and alkalides, distilled water, oxidizing agents, metallic ions, inorganic anions, halogens, and formaldehyde, phenol, alcohol, dyes. Okay, so these are all come under physical sterilization and as well as chemical sterilization. Okay, now we'll go through with the first one, that is physical sterilization. So as we know that sterilization are further classified into two types, that is physical sterilization and chemical sterilization. First we go through with the physical sterilization. In the physical sterilization it involved sunlight, drying, heat. Under heat again further divided into two types: moist heat and dry heat. Okay, moist heat and dry heat. Clear? So now we are going to discuss one by one. Under that first one will be the sunlight. So sunlight is not how sunlight will work as a natural physical sterilization. So sunlight is nothing but what we get naturally. Everywhere get sun rays, right? So that is a sunlight. So how this sunlight will help us to sterilize the things? So suppose if you take it as a washing clothes, once you get washed the clothes, where did you keep? You keep it for airing. Okay, so we'll keep it for airing. So which means due to the presence of this sunlight, because of the heat produced from the sunlight, it makes clothes to get dry. Okay, and that heat even kill if any microorganisms present over the cloth. Okay, in the same way, for example I have given, only for examples I have given, but apart of that, if any object after washing, if you keep it for sunlight, so once it get dried, that will be done by sunlight sterilization, or we can say sunlight physical sterilization. Okay, this action is due to there will be some rays will be there, right, in the sunlight. So in the sunlight we have some specific rays called ultraviolet rays, which makes the objects or things get dry. Okay, and apart of that, after getting dry, any microorganisms present over the surface of the object, it will get killed by this ultraviolet rays. And this is one of the natural method of sterilization in case of water, like suppose in rivers, tanks and lakes and oceans. So we have different types of rivers in our country, and as well as oceans and rivers, lakes, So we can't sterilize by heating those water in our house. So how it will get sterilized? But even though if we won't sterilize in a home, those water will be get ready for drinking, because so those river water and as well as lake water or tank water will get sterilized by this sunlight. Okay, so by it undergoes under this process, so only it does not need any further sterilization process to do. Okay, so that is which goes a natural natural method which we can go sterilize the objects by physically. Okay, and there is a one, and next one is drying. Drying means nothing but which makes if we wash the cloth, which we give it for drying or airing, that is nothing but drying. Moisture is essential for the growth of the bacteria. Already we know this point. Moisture in the sense water content is essential for the growth of the bacteria. If any place drying in the air becomes a deleterious effect on many bacteria. Suppose if you see during rainy season, our environment will be contains with lots of moisture, where in case of during summer time it have, compared to winter to summer, the moisture contained in the environment will be less, because during summer period we have more sunlight, which moisture will get evaporated very easily, where in case of rainy season or winter season, the moisture content will be there in the environment because the lower temperature. If the temperature goes down, the moisture content will survive. If temperature goes high, the moisture content will get evaporized, so there won't be a survival of moisture in the environment. So the drying in air becomes, suppose if you take it as any cloth which is washed, suppose take it as your hair only. So once you do the head bath, so many people will use the hair dryer. So that is nothing but hair dryer means which will produce the automated machine which produces a hot breezes, or we can say hot air, so which makes your hair will become easily get dried with a shorter period of time. That is by producing the hot air, the water content which is present in you have on your head, it will get dried very easily. So in the same way, this drying which may be a natural or artificial. Natural means by sunlight, artificial means which we have provide the artificial machines to become dry. Okay, and these drying in air, this drying in air becomes deleterious effect on many bacteria. Suppose if you take it as any surface object, or if you take it as atmosphere itself, if the temperatures goes high, that the bacteria which is present in the environment, which will get killed by this increase in temperature. Or if you take any wet vessel which are contain maybe microorganisms, once you get heat dryer, means once you keep on the flame, that is gas stove, what will happen? By the producing the heat which developed by the stove, that makes the water content present over the object will get dry. And apart of that, the organism which is present over that object will also get die due to the high temperature. Okay, that is drying. And coming to the third one, that is heat. Okay, heat is nothing but, what is difference between drying and heat? You can get a doubt here. Now we'll come to know. Heat is the most suitable method for sterilization. Okay, drying may be natural or artificial. but heat is the most suitable method for sterilization, and the sterilization by heating depend on temperature, time, number of organisms are present, and types of material to be sterilized. So as we know that this heat sterilization is by heating is completely depend on temperature, time, number of organisms present over the surface, and types of materials to be sterilized, and spores of the organism. Thus, because of that nature, means the heat heat sterilization majorly based on types of organisms, and based on temperature, and time, based on surface or number of organisms present on the object, and type of material to be sterilized, and spores of the organism. So based on these types, the heat sterilization will differ in many ways, and based on that we'll classify heat sterilization into two types. Can be classified into two types, that is dry heat, and second one is moist heat. Okay, so till here we'll stop. In next class we'll discuss the dry heat and moist heat. Under the dry heat we have further classified into flaming, incineration, and hot air oven. These three will come under dry heat. And in the moist heat there will be three types: temperature below 100 degrees, temperature at 100 degrees, and temperature at above 100 degrees. Temperature below 100 degrees is pasteurization of milk and vaccination bath. And temperature at 100 degrees is tyndallization, boiling. And temperature above 100 degrees is autoclave or steam sterilization. Above 100 degrees, autoclave or steam sterilization, then filtration, radiation, and ultrasonic and sonic vibration. Okay, these four: autoclave or steam sterilization, filtration, radiation. Under radiation we have two types: ionizing radiation, non-ionizing radiation, and last one is ultrasonic or sonic vibration. So by this will be done with the physical sterilization. In tomorrow's class we are going to discuss dry heat and as well as a moist heat. Okay, and one more thing, if you have any doubts, you can call me and you can get clarified. And most of the it won't be doubts will be no there. Why? Because each and every step I'm going to explain in detail, so there won't be getting doubts in this. So suppose if you get any doubts in this topic, you can call me and you can get clarified your doubts. Okay, or discuss yourselves that if any particular day if we allot for doubt clarification, you can tell me before one day itself, so I'll be prepared for the materials which I have to clarify. Okay, clear? And on which topic you have doubt. Okay, so by that we'll continue in next class. Till now, be up to date for the class. Means on daily basis you just do watch the classes which I post in the YouTube channel, and get subscribed to the channel, which you'll get the notification as soon as I'll upload the video. Okay, so it help you to watch the class as early as possible. Okay, you no need to wait for my link. Okay, once you get subscribed to the channel, directly you'll get the notification once I upload the video into my channel. Okay, thank you. So in next class we'll continue with the further topics, that is dry heat and moist heat. And once we're done with the dry heat and moist heat, we'll now next we'll move to the chemical sterilization. Okay, thank you.